Greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to Wizdom Dropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. I am your astrologer, Tanya, and today we're talking about Capricorn. And I just did a video on Saturn. If you haven't seen it already, I highly recommend that you check that out before this video on Capricorn, because it's going to give you like levels of understanding of depth, okay, into this sign and into this energy. So if you're a Capricorn ascendant, sun, or moon, this video is especially for you. If you have family who's a Capricorn ascendant, sun, or moon, this video is definitely for you. If you just want to understand Capricorn better because you know an asshole Capricorn in your life, guess what? This video is for you. So, Capricorn, what a misunderstood energy, number one, right? But who is the Capricorn? And who is Capricorn by ancient standards compared to who is Capricorn by modern standards? These questions answered in this video. First off, let's talk about the archetypes associated with Capricorn energy. Capricorns are associated with the billy goat in terms of their animal representation in ancient mythological lore, but check it out. They're associated with the centaur as well, who's like not, I don't know if that's actually the word because it's like that Sagittarius with the horse, but it's a goat. It's like Pan, the god Pan, right? He's half goat, half man. So those kind of hybrid beings, being like a goat and a human, that's what they're associated with. But check it out, even cooler, what they're associated with in ancient lore is unicorns. So not many people know that, but that's the truth. And so the higher vibration of Capricorn energy is a unicorn. The lower vibration of Capricorn energy is like this half man, half goat being, okay? So interesting stuff right off the bat. When I say unicorn, oftentimes people don't think Capricorn. Like, honest to God, do you think when I say, you know, unicorns, Capricorn? Hell no. Generally speaking, you're not gonna think about a Capricorn being aligned with a unicorn. But there's a reason for this. There's absolutely an astrological reason for this. And this is the launching point that we're going to use to get into the rest of this video about Capricorn. So when you have a unicorn, think about what makes it different from a horse. Mind you, the sign before Capricorn is what? Sagittarius, which is associated with the horse. But the difference between the horse and the unicorn is what? This little thing right here, the little antler, the little magical, I don't even know the word for it, the horn, I guess, right? Coming off that animal. And that is the magic of Capricorn, because that is made of what? Bone. Kind of like if you imagine like a bull, right? They have like bone, or like an elk, or like a deer when they have the antlers and stuff. That's actually bone. It's a hard cranial substance coming out from their body. It's like a skeleton on the outside of their body in a way. And that's why Saturn is associated with this. Number one, because Saturn rules, if you checked out the video I just did on this, everything hard, everything structural, everything that is like the foundation off of which things grow, such as bones and teeth and trees and hard bark, like this tree behind me, right? So yeah, that's part of it. But the magic of it all is also part of Capricorn. Capricorn has, in ancient lore, been associated with mystics. And that's crazy, right? But if you think about it a little deeper, it makes sense, because Capricorn is cardinal Earth. So it gets things started on the physical Earth plane level, and its astrological planetary lord is Saturn, Father Time, and also the force that makes things grow over time. You can't have growth if it isn't for Saturn. So to have a mystical association with this energy kind of makes sense in certain ways, because Saturn is also restriction and limitation, but it's restriction and limitation that produces something over time. So there's a little bit, just put that on a side plate over here, okay? It's over here somewhere. And that's one point. The next point about Capricorn that we're going to talk about is some of the demeanor and some of the energy that comes across with this sign and why that is. So keep in mind they're ruled by Saturn, Capricorn energy, right? But the thing that makes Capricorn so absolutely badass, which is part of what this video is talking about, is the fact that they can reach the top of any given situation through diligence, through dedication, through the hard work that Saturn demands of anybody who's working with Saturnian energy. But as a Capricorn, you're almost like an ambassador or a representative of the Saturnian forces that be within the universe. So as an ambassador of that Saturnian influence, you're gonna have more of that energy that you carry with you throughout life, of persistence, over time, diligence, right? Of things like hard work, and also things like inner authority and outer authority, and becoming an outer external authority, because Saturn In Capricorn, they're associated with the 10th house of the Zodiac, which is the midheaven, which is one of the foundational signs, or points rather, in the astrological chart in any given chart that you look at. I've done a video on that as well, you can check out if you want. But point being, it's the public sphere. The 10th house is what you do out in the world at a public level. It's what you're known for at an external, outside public level. It's your public persona. It's your public endeavors. And that's all Saturnian stuff because it's responsibility and it has to do with governorship and it has to do with foundations and keeping things structured and keeping things in order, right? Those are all Saturnian things. So as a Capricorn energy being, you're going to be an ambassador for more of those energies. And why are you going to be reaching the top of this mountain? Because that's what the goat does. The goat climbs the top of the mountain because it's safer there. If you watch Nat Geo, this is literally what the goats do. There's all these predators in the bottom in the valley where all the water and everything is, but then when they're done with that, they're like, let's retreat and go back up here and eat grass and survive at the top of this mountain, because guess what? They're the only ones there. Is anybody else at the top of that mountain? No. Nobody else is at the top of that mountain but the herbivores, you feel? Because they can reach the top through their hard work and diligence and careful footing and careful stepping on the rock in order to get away from the predators. So it's safer at the top. And that's the same if you become a boss in life. You're safer at the top because you have people beneath you doing things on your mighty behalf, or you're supervising the people beneath you who are in some ways dealing with the more arduous or more challenging kind of like drudge work or challenging things that you don't want to deal with, or the so-called dirty work. And that's the process of Capricorn. Rarely does a Capricorn start at the top of the mountain. Capricorn usually starts here in the valley with all the predators, all the threats, all the like low vibe things, all the challenges, all the issues. And Capricorns throughout lifetime, it gets easier as you get older as a Capricorn, because guess what? You get more time to trudge up this mountain and to go through the consistency, the diligence, and the effort over time that is demanded for you to master your own inner authority energy, at which point, as a Capricorn, you tend to start to embody more of that authority type energy or supervisory type energy at an external level once you master it at an internal level. Now mind you, the process is not easy. The process to get to the top where it's safer and so-called better, perhaps by some lenses, right, is not easy because it takes time. Saturn rules time, and that is associated with Capricorns. It takes time to accomplish things. It takes time to build a reputation. It takes time to build anything worth building, and that's the whole point. Capricorn is about quality. Capricorn is about integrity at a level. Whether or not they can be tremendous assholes sometimes because they are, you know, owned or so to speak ruled by the planet of Saturn is another topic, which yes, Saturn has the power of no, absolutely. So it can be crass, and it is a cold, dark planet. So it can be greedy even. It can be, you know, very, very, shrewd as well. And it can also be very cold and lonely. So a lot of times if a Capricorn is hostile towards you, is because they have, yes, an internal power conflict, yes, of course, but 9 times out of 10, possibly 10 times out of 10, if a Capricorn is being a jerk to you, it's because they don't like the way you're putting in work and they think you're lazy, or they think you're like some, you know, joke who's not doing what you need to do with your life, or it's because they don't believe that you have the dedication and the perseverance that it takes to accomplish said thing that you're accomplishing. Or not only do they think that you're lonely, you know, and your energy of like work and workaholicness, or like that was really poorly stated. Not only do they think that you're like insufficient, I should say, in those types of energies, but they could also themselves be lonely just by virtue of being a Capricorn, because when you are a Capricorn, you're kind of isolated. Saturn is the isolating planet, is the ostracizing energy of the zodiac, so it removes things, it takes things away. It's like associated with the goddess Kali, Kalima. Kalima is death, yes, and rebirth. But what is death? Death, okay, yes, you could say that's Scorpio, and I've used this in a Scorpio video recently, absolutely. But death is also an end. It's also a taking away of something, which is life, aka Saturn, aka the malefic that takes things away and says no. So when you get to the point of you know, meeting a crass, kind of like hard around the edges Capricorn, they either think you're lazy, you're not putting in the effort that you need to, you're not capable of doing this diligence thing over time, and you're not worth their time, or they themselves are dealing with issues of loneliness and isolation, because Capricorns are lonely freaking creatures in at least one form of life. Even if a Capricorn has built everything up around them, they could have the best career, they could have like you know, a really nice home. They could have a good relationship. At the end of the day, Capricorn always understands the notion of loneliness and isolation. Even if they have everything that you could think that they could possibly want as an outsider looking in on their lives, Capricorns know what it's like to be alone at a certain level in a way that only they can understand being alone in. So, you know, if you think of the hermit energy, right? That is a Capricorn, because Capricorn is retreating. They're going inwards. They're not like out there with everybody in a social way like, say, a Libra. It's, again, ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is cold. Saturn is the power of no. It's dry. Not a lot of life grows in dry earth, you feel? So Capricorn is that denial energy, and it's therefore not hospitable for an abundance of energy. But what it is hospitable for is just as important, if not more important, than what it is not hospitable for. Because Capricorn and Saturn, Capricorn and Saturn might be dry, they might be cold, okay, and they might be limiting in certain ways. But in that hostile environment, what does grow is of extreme, exceptional value to what is worthy in growing in that environment. Now get your mind around that. What grows in that environment is suited to that environment. Now we're getting into like some deep stuff like Darwinism, survival of the fittest, with contrary to people's misconception, does not mean most physically fit. It means most environmentally fit, or suited, in other words, to the environment around it, okay? So when you start thinking who and what thrives in such an environment where it's cold, dark, okay, and dry and hard, these are all things associated with Capricorn and Saturn energy, that begins to tell you a lot about who Capricorn is as a being, as a persona, as a character. And who thrives in those environments? Tough ass people. Tough people survive with Capricorn energy. So if you know a Capricorn and they're a jerk, it's because they don't have mastery yet in their life over their own tough energy. If you know a Capricorn who's the most genuine, generous person who has really built a reputation for themselves and is giving back to others, you have met an exalted Capricorn. You have met somebody who is understanding the need to be diligent, the need to be responsible, the need to put in time over time, the need to put in hard work over time. And they understand that once they themselves have that position at the top of the mountain, they have more to offer others. And that's when you see a so-called benevolent or enlightened Capricorn. That's when you see those people out there doing job training programs that are really effective in changing people's lives, because they build other people's capacity to go and do that hard work by giving them the skills that they need. Because people with Capricorn energy understand the skills that you need, because they've been told no in so many different ways and forms of their own lifetime, that they understand what the yes needs to be, or what the yes at the end of the day actually is. And once they master that within themselves and they come to a place of generosity in offering that Capricornian wisdom to other people, it might look a little more traditional. It might look a little more strict. It might demand more of you in order to receive that energy as a participant in something that Capricorn is holding space and foundation for. It might demand that you're on work, you know, time every single day on time, and that you stay over every single day. But at the end of the day, what Capricorn is trying to do for you, yeah, they might be greedy and a low vibe Capricorn, but if you know that they're a good Capricorn, so to speak, just to use that really like childish language of good and bad, right? But if you understand that they're maybe working in their higher Capricornian energies and have more to give you, and that they're trying to actually give you and impart that upon you, then realize they're putting you through the ringer, or they're putting you through the challenges so that you can reap the rewards on the other side of that hard work. Will Smith did not got the muscles from just sitting around on his butt doing nothing. I go back to that every time because I love Will Smith as an actor, although he needs to up his vegan awareness, okay? But I digress. Point being though, you know, that's the point, is that you have to go through the hard work to get the reward. And when you have a Capricorn who is in their energy of awareness within themselves that they are the authority, whether or not others want to recognize it, granted, if you want to give them that acknowledgement, Capricorns will generally acknowledge you back with a little bit more respect, because they are the people who've gone through the ringer, and they are the people who've come out the other side on the top of the mountain for it. But if you observe that they're in that good energy and you give them that respect and you take what wisdom and gifts Capricorn has to give you in exchange, then Capricorn is going to bless your life like the incredible unicorn miracle that they are at a higher level, because they know what it takes to get to the top of the mountain. And it's never an easy process, and it's never a truly simple process, other than insofar as it's simple in that you have to keep going. And persistence is synonymous with success. That's another saying that I live by, and I have so much Saturn in my chart, it's stupid, but this video isn't about me. So staying on the track of, Saturn, you get out what you put in, and persistence is synonymous with success, because over time you have to be diligent and you have to give it your effort. And once you understand those energies, you understand Capricorns a lot better. And if you do have a Capricorn who's a real jerk, who is selfish, who is miserly, who is only to themselves and wants nothing to do with other people, then guess what? They're embodying the lower vibration of Capricorn energy, which is Satan. It is satanic energy. Saturn, Saturday, Satan. Any familiarities there? What is Saturn? Restriction, limitation, the power of no. What is Saturn? The negligence of light. You feel? We can get into some real esoteric stuff with this, but at a lower vibration, Lucifer is associated with Saturn, and that's why you have the association of goats with Lucifer, which is a completely unfair association with a goat, right? But if you look at who Satan is, look at who he is. He is simply a being who has forgotten his own divine grace. He is the lower end of Capricorn. Capricorn at a higher end is the magical, mythological unicorn by ancient lore, you feel? At a lower level, it's the lack of that. It's the lack of the awareness of your own benevolence. So if you meet a Capricorn who's a real jerk, it's because they themselves have detached from something sacred within themselves. And that sacredness that Capricorn carries is not a sacredness that comes with ease. It's a sacredness that comes with work over time. And it's a wisdom keeper of the third dimension. And guess what? This physical realm, y'all, is a hell of a lot harder than the intangible energetic realm. Because in that world, everything is energy and everything is easy peasy compared to this. But in this world, there is a need for such a thing as muscle. Metaphorical and literal muscle, okay? And that's what Saturn really comes in with. That's what Capricorn comes in with. It's a cardinal earth sign. So I hope this video has inspired you to maybe put some respect on Capricorn's name a little bit, and also recognize your own internal ability to be a keeper of this wisdom and a keeper of this energy of persistence and ultimately accomplishment and achievement, because that's something that Capricorn builds over time, is something they can be proud of, something they can feel like they've truly invested in, that's worthy. Okay, and so that's the gift. That's the gift of this energy of no. That's the gift of this energy of taking things away. The gift is something that withstands time. The pyramids withstands time, because why? The way they were built. I'm gonna end it with that because that's a profound thought. So if you want a reading, I do provide those. Go ahead and reach out to me at wisdomdropz with all Z's at gmail.com. The information for that is down below. If this video brought you value, before you off click, make sure you subscribe if you want more info like this. I drop daily wisdoms like this, so it's out there. And also like it, because I'd like to appreciate my energy through a mirror that is the interface of you on the internet. And also, if you want to go ahead and put a comment down below before you click off, just letting me know if you are a Capricorn, what about this felt like it really hit home, and what about this felt like you didn't really resonate with it, and what stood out most to you about this whole video on Capricorn. I would really love to know your thoughts, and let's just have a little conversation about it. So also, if you know a Capricorn in life, feel free to share this vid with them, because it was low-key a little intense and I felt like some serious divine information coming through, so I hope it resonated and served you. Alright, with that said, may the force be with you and may the stars be with you. Peace.